You know the song. In fact, you might not know the song as well as this gentleman, Richard O'Brien, the man who wrote the damn thing. Hello.
It is so. We are so excited to be here with you because we were only a couple of weeks ago in full Rocky Horror costume. We're major fans. So to have you here, the person that created this, is a very special moment for us.
Well, that's very kind of you. Thank you. It's lovely to be in town again. And isn't it lovely to come in after that lovely Rainbow Day on Saturday? And here we are with another rainbow event. I like that.
I suppose you're right.
I'm very fond of waving the rainbow banner these days because there's so many people seem to have a problem with people being gay by default. It's very odd. We're born this way, and yet we somehow or other are supposed to be ashamed of what we are by default.
Yeah.
How weird is that?
I know. Actually, speaking of being born, you were born in the UK, right? Born in England, but you went to Tauranga Boys High. And let's run through the list of people from Tauranga Boys High. You got Sam Cane, All Blacks captain. Kane Williamson, Black Caps captain. Peter Burling, Sam Ruth, and yourself. But you're the guy with a statue. Congratulations.
I know a bronze erection.
In Hamilton, no less.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the time warp, because I always remember Indiana Jones, or Harrison Ford, saying everywhere he went, including his colonoscopy, they played the Indiana Jones theme song. Is it a song that follows you around?
Not that far up, thankfully. No. There were times when I got a bit tired and resentful, I suppose, about singing the time warp. Oh no, I don't have to do that again, do I? And then I saw Cab Calloway singing Minnie the Moocher on the Blues Brothers, and he was 80 years old. And I thought, if he can still do that at 80, that's all right. I don't know. I don't have the right, do I?
Give the people what they want to hear.
What is your favourite Rocky Horror Show song?
I'm very fond of the superhero song at the very end.
Yep. Because
it comes strangely. It's a strange piece, and it was written well before Rocky. And it was shoehorned into the ending to tie up the ending, but somehow it works delightfully, especially with the narrator's last words and crawling on the planet's face. Some insects called the human race, lost in time and lost in space and meaning. It ties in very nicely with Michael Rennie was ill, the day the Earth was ill. At the beginning, it makes it complete circle somehow or other.
Can you believe it's still this powerful?
No.
I mean, you sat down one day and you wrote it, and now it's this global phenomenon all these years later.
It was 3 weeks fun, honestly. That was all it was supposed to be. I don't know whether anybody else had any ideas of it going on beyond that.
I thought you were going to say, I'm not sure anyone else had fun, but I had fun for 3 weeks.
But it went on for 5, and then it went on for 7 years before it ended its first run in London, and here we are 50 years later. Or 53 years later. 52.
Yeah, I was going to say, 1973, your life changed. You put pen to paper, you write this.
Yes.
As I said, you've got a statue. And as Sam says, it kind of defines you a little bit, but surely there are other things. Like, I went through your Wikipedia page, and this might not be right because it's Wikipedia, but you used to be a horse rider stuntman for cowboy movies.
I was, that's how I got into show business. I got to London in 65, and there was an advert in the stage newspaper for people to ride horses in movies, and I thought, I can ride horses. And then so we went out to this paddock out in Ruislip somewhere. It was a wet afternoon, a big paddock with it, and they brought out a big fat mare with no saddle, and all those, up for the job had to ride this mare around the paddock without a saddle and not fall off. Well, that was all right for me because I was good at that. Several others fell off, but I got in somehow or other. And rode in Carry On Cowboy, The Fighting Prince of Donegal, and Casino Royale, the very first one they made.
Unreal.
That nobody understands.
Well, what is your creative outlet now? I mean, you're a wonderful writer and everything like that. How do you vent that now?
I write cautionary tales in verse for myself and my grandchildren. And hopefully they've got some. We've got one that I've just done. It's called A Tune for the New Harvest Moon. It's all in verse. Turning that into a book and going to get having the whole thing put to orchestration. We'll try to get a children's choir to sing it and release that later in the year. That'll be a Starship offering as well.
Yeah,
Oh,
exciting.
nice.
Are your grandkids into singing and theatre and the arts?
I think all children are into theatre and the arts, aren't they? That's why we play in the garden. That's how it all starts, isn't it? Dressing up and making
That's a good
believe.
point.
That's a lovely way to put it.
I want to know if one of them's going to play Riff Raff one day.
We can only hope. So as I said, your life changed in 1973, but then you fast forward a few years after that, and I believe your life changed again with this moment here. Have a listen to this.
Ah, hello, Sam.
Richard,
Welcome to the Nerve Centre.
lovely to be here.
Are you ready, Sam?
I don't know.
Are you ready to explain that, Sam?
Well, are you aware that we've met?
No.
We filmed DNA Detectives together. Probably, gosh, it must be nearly 20 or maybe 15, 20 years. And you sent me all around the world chasing my heritage. So thank you so much.
How marvellous is that?
Sam's been dying to play that audio all morning.
I loved one of the ones we sent back, and we sent him to a place where a Neanderthal grave, because he had Neanderthal DNA.
Wow.
And I thought that was a lovely thing to, because one of the reasons I wanted to do that DNA detective was to bring DNA into our conversation about evolution as well, because it's time we spoke up and said this is a secular world, and religious people are allowed to pull their churches on and their homes of creation myth fantasy on the corners of streets, but they mustn't impose their will upon us, must they?
No.
And I said it's time for us for rationality's left the auditorium, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
why
true.
we've got Trump in the White House, isn't it?
Well, hey, look, Richard, that's very, very deep. You just sent me to Sardinia and it was gorgeous, so thank you.
We had a great
And
time.
here he is in the studio now. Rocky Horror Show opens on Friday. Everything you need to know about this is on our website, coastonline.co.nz.